What's up, guys? Before we jump into the video today, I want to let you know that my code ESPRESSO is 30% off your entire order over at gfuel.com. Whether you want to restock on a tub or two or just try out a sample pack or maybe the new cans releasing, you can get an increased discount until the 14th. Check the link in the description below if you're interested, but now back to the regular scheduled content. Tomorrow marks the first week of Season 3 in the books, and I'm sure that in that time, players have jumped in and experienced a bit of what's been on offer. But throughout that first week, there's a few things that you may not know about even still. So today, I want to dissect some of these items and let you know some potentially useful things as well as some just various trivia. As we go along, do be sure to let me know your thoughts below, anything that we missed on this list, how many of these did you know, and as well, feel free to let me know your most interesting factoid about Season 3 thus far. But also, do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you had not done so already to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare, as well as Warzone on a daily basis. We'll keep you up to date with absolutely any and everything you need to know. That said, let's jump into it. Firstly, let's start out by talking about some freebies and some free content you may be able to pick up on and take advantage of, because let's be real, who doesn't love free stuff? Firstly, let's talk about some free gift packs that have been popping up. Modern Warfare as of recently has been giving out some random free gift packs like they did back in December around the holidays. Now right now it seems to be entirely random. There doesn't really seem to be any rhyme or reason to it, but there's a variety of packs ranging from the standard issue 1 and 2 to a pack that will give players a free Origin 12 variant, which the blueprint design on that is actually pretty awesome, though it's not really a weapon that I would use all that much, so it might just sit on the shelf there, but regardless, it's something free. But like we said, there doesn't seem to be any sort of rollout definitives, because I've had people tweet me saying, hey, I got this, this, and this as a free gift, and I actually only just got my first gift pack today, which was that Origin 12 blueprint. Now, I've still yet to receive any of the other ones out there, like those standard issue 1 and 2 bundles, but it's entirely possible that you may have gotten all three, or maybe you haven't even gotten one at all yet. Just keep an eye out for that green icon above your shop when you boot up the game each time that says free gift, so you can grab yours when the time comes. The next one we'll talk about in the way of free content comes down to items that are unfortunately exclusive to one platform, that being a result of the long-standing partnership between Call of Duty and Sony and PlayStation 4. But on PlayStation 4, players have the opportunity to take advantage of a free content bundle that comes with a few blueprints, an operator uniform, and a little bit more. That being the new Warzone Season 3 content bundle. If you search up Modern Warfare on the PlayStation Store, you'll be able to go to the landing page and search through the add-ons that are available for the game. And from there, you should be able to see the Warzone Combat Pack for Season 3. This is again absolutely free of charge, not costing you a single dime, but gets you the items of the Wyatt skin entitled The Woodsman, the Car 98K Open Season Blueprint, the Good Company 357 Magnum, the Toothpick Melee Blueprint, the Bear Trap Weapon Charm, the Nature Provides Calling Card, the Off the Lawn Spray, a double weapon XP token, and access to Wyatt as an operator if you don't have him already, which is likely just for those players that are on the free-to-play side when it comes to Warzone, and thus where this combat pack really helps out in some of the customization. But I'm always a big fan of free stuff, and if this becomes a seasonal event thing, I'm all for that, with each new season potentially bringing us just a small handful of additional items and customization for free. But anyways, if you're on PlayStation 4, make sure you grab this while you can. Now, the final thing we'll talk about in the way of free content may have been something you've claimed already by now, but in the sake of being thorough, I do want to mention it because it was available for some players like myself in Season 3. That being the 10 free tier skips that actually started and were first promoted on April 2nd. On that day, to help players out with their Battle Pass progression before the wrap of Season 2, Call of Duty rolled out a promotion giving players 10 free tier skips to help those who may not be close to the end of their Battle Pass. But the nice part was that it also applied to those who were either completed or would be completed within those 10 tiers once applied to their Battle Pass. With the remainder of those tier skips, if you used all 10 or if you didn't use any because you were tier 100, they would be transferred over then to your Season 3 Battle Pass. That was a great gesture, but it was incredibly buggy for a lot of players, and one official comment that I heard was that it was greatly affecting players of tier 90 and up, where it just wouldn't roll out to those players. Now obviously they couldn't just go back on their word and say, you know what, sorry this messed up, but you're not getting that anymore, but it's since been rolled out and now can apply to your current Battle Pass. So if you're jumping on for the first time or you haven't gotten it or claimed these just yet, you can buy your Battle Pass, maybe even get that bundle that comes along with the 20 free tier skips, get those additional 10 tiers, and then have both the weapons in the Battle Pass right off the bat. So not bad for some free content. Let's talk about some weapons now here at this one. Modern Warfare has a few weapons that will alter various different visual portions of the weapons at hand, from blueprints to alterations made by attachments. Yesterday, in fact, we actually mentioned another item in passing where the Grau 556 would have its iron sights changed change depending on the barrel chosen by the user. So today I want to mention another cooler bit of change here for the SKS, the new marksman rifle within Season 3. I remember when the trailer dropped for Season 3, myself and a few friends were dissecting pieces of the trailer and we were like, wow, that's actually a pretty cool camo it looks like on the SKS. But little did we know, it was actually a display of the SKS with a different stock, because the SKS actually changes the entire weapon design based upon the stock option chosen. There are 3 stocks available for the SKS, meaning that with the option to choose none of those, you have 4 base design variants of the SKS without the necessity for a blueprint of any kind. The base build is just that metallic SKS that you see as normal advertised in the battle pass and elsewhere. The SKS rifle stock, which assists in aiming stability and aiming walking steadiness, changes the SKS to a polished wood finish on the weapon, bringing out the hints of what I think looks like the classic Soviet design for the weapon. The FTAC Hunter Scout stock, which assists in aiming stability, changes the weapon to a bulkier and more metallic looking variation of the SKS. And finally, the sawed-off stock, which assists in movement speed and aim down sight speed, changes the weapon to look a little grittier in a wood finish, and something you may say find at a hunter's log cabin. My mind immediately jumps to that Wyatt skin that we just mentioned with a free PS4 bundle. So regardless, just kind of a cool little detail on the SKS and the varying attachments that it could have that you may have missed. Next, let's talk about the other new weapon, because while we have a new pistol, it is a weapon that a lot of players were like, well, I wonder if this becomes the Raffica. And actually, you can make this the Raffica, or very close to the Raffica, if you don't know already. With the Mark II burst mod barrel, the FTAC SATA CSX stock, and the lightweight trigger, you have basically a replica build of the classic Rafficas from Modern Warfare 2. Now, if you take off that stock, you can, of course, make it akimbo like it was back in the day, and also you can throw on, say, something like a grip to aid you in aim down sight speed if you don't have akimbo, but you can make this custom tailored how you will, but still relatively faithful to that original, where a lot of players were hoping we'd see that return from with a pistol as a DLC weapon. So if you have that ranked up, definitely jump in and check it out. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about on the weapon side of things is actually a little bit of an awesome addition that we have in relation to the Odin. Now, the Odin is a weapon that absolutely is killer, but it definitely has its flaws, in which there are things like recoil, which you want to try and control through your attachments. The fire rate could be better, but one of the big ones is the base iron sights, to me at least, are definitely not optimal. They're not my favorite, probably one of my least favorite iron sights in all of the game, but the Odin has a battle pass variant in it at tier 35 called the Black ASP. Normally coming along with this is the Viper Reflex Optic Sight, the FTAC XL Elite stock, and the Tactical Foregrip, but while this comes with a relatively decent optic and the Odin may be something you're accustomed to putting an optic on, you might want to take that optic off, because it frees up an attachment slot and actually showcases the custom iron sights for this particular variant. One that doesn't have the obtrusive metal ring on top of the iron sights that may get in the way of whatever you're trying to view. Instead, that part is entirely cut out and is actually what I think iron sights that are very nice. I would definitely use this Odin with this variant and with those iron sights. So if you're not a fan of the iron sights, definitely give this a go if you like the Odin. Let's jump over though to some Warzone specific things here at this one. One big thing that is a huge problem within Warzone, especially because it's free to play and there doesn't really seem to be anything that will IP ban any cheaters, and the fact that there is forced crossplay, you may find yourself running into legitimate modders, legitimate hackers, people with aimbots and such like that. So while Infinity Ward just announced that since launch they've banned over 70,000 accounts, again, that doesn't stop the problem inherently. So how do you do your best to stay away from this? It might take time to come up with a bank of accounts that you may notice this with, but if you end up seeing somebody you suspect is modding, hacking, or doing anything suspicious, just find that user in your recent players and block them. Then when you try and join in a game, if they may be in that lobby, it will come up with a text box saying that there is a blocked player in your game or in your party. Do you want to still proceed? So this will give you that alert that you may come in contact with somebody again that could be modding, and will allow you to back out while you still have the opportunity to do so. So is it a fail-safe method, or is it something that immediately fixes the problem? No, but it is something that is a kind of workaround to something that may have some quicker results than that of banning accounts in the masses that we as players may be waiting on. So that's something to consider. Then outside of that, we talked about briefly the new introduction of streamer mode, something that is kind of a reverse streamer mode, where you think that in your traditional streamer modes, players wouldn't be able to see the person with that enabled. They wouldn't be able to see their name, so that then they couldn't get stream sniped. But it actually works kind of oppositely, where it just changes the names on the streamer or the player who has has this enabled side of things as sort of a more advanced profanity filter, I guess, because of course, like we said, there are absolutely no filters for Activision names. So if you don't want to see that kind of stuff, it will just change it to default names, but it won't protect that person's name and identity from being showcased to anybody that doesn't have it off. An interesting curveball, but a feature that you may not know about no less. The ping feature actually got an upgrade recently as of Season 3's update. Now, offhand, I don't have the exact number of before versus after, but if you end up utilizing the ping feature a lot in-game, you will absolutely notice that this is a big change, and you can ping players so much farther than you could before, especially if you're hard pinging them, meaning you're actually marking them as a hostile, where it gives that 2 to 3 seconds of real-time tracking data. You will 100% notice it at that point. And the final bit of Warzone specific content I want to talk about comes down to general information that you may not know, because it's something you have to actually be paying attention for. But with Season 3's update, it changed the loadout drops to the price of $10,000 in-game cash, and that is a lot to build up, especially if you're playing solo. 6,000 was alright solos, 8,500 became somewhat of a tall task, but now 10,000, that may be pretty hard to obtain. But fortunately, there are natural loadout drop spawns, which, if you know exactly when they're coming in, can be incredibly advantageous. If you wait until the end of Wave 1's gas, around the 15-second mark, until that circle is closed before it reveals the next safe zone you have to go to, or if you wait until around the end of Wave 5, about 45 seconds before that zone starts moving, you'll be able to catch the naturally falling loadout drops, which could in fact then save you a ton of money. You could instead, with that $10,000, end up getting a self-revive kit, or end up getting a UAV, or maybe a mix and match of both. Maybe you need to use 2 self-revives, maybe you need to use 2 UAVs, but regardless, it saves you $10,000 in cash. So know when exactly those come in if you don't already. Final 2 things I want to talk about are just some simple fun factoids that you may not know about. Firstly, that being that you can throw trophy systems onto vehicles. I think this might be looking into getting patched. I thought I heard some discussion about that, but off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly where that was from to verify, but you can do this and it will help you out with some of those explosives. And also, the recon drone can be quite a deadly thing. You can fly it right into a helicopter and it will blow up the helicopter, giving you the kill of whoever's in that vehicle. So some cool stuff, no less, and some things that I never really would have considered would work or didn't really think about. But that's where we're gonna wrap it up here with these things you may not know about Modern Warfare and Warzone in Season 3. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. I would love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Did you know any of these? Would you throw anything into this list here that you find incredibly interesting and that you think many players don't know about? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare and Warzone content on a daily basis. Anything revolving around updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and some interesting stuff like this, we got you covered on the channel. So if you're interested, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As well, if you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practice on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.